akiñcana-vittāya, materially impoverished. This is the first qualification of a devotee. One who does not possess anything of this material world, he simply possesses Krishna. That is akiñcana-vittāya. Akiñcana means one who has lost everything of material possession. Because if you have got a small tinge of idea that I want to become happy materially in this way, so long you have to accept the body. The nature is so kind that in whichever way you want to enjoy this material world, she will give you a suitable body under the direction of the Lord. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart, so He knows everything, that you still want something material. He will give you. Yes, you take it. Krishna wants that you get full experience that by material gain you'll never live. This is Krishna's business. There's full freedom. Although you have got minute quantity of freedom, because you are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna has got full freedom. But the freedom quality is there in me, because I am part and parcel of Krishna. The chemical composition. The drop of sea water has got a drop of salt also. Although it is not comparable with the salt containing in the sea water, but the salt chemical is there. This is our understanding. Janmardasya jata. Whatever we have got in minute quantity, the same thing in fullness is there in Krishna. In fullness. Just like Krishna says, Mrityus sarva harascha aham. Now we have got a propensity to take others' things. You can say it's stealing. We have got that propensity. Why? Because Krishna has got it. Krishna is known as the butter thief. The beginning, thieving, stealing. So unless that stealing propensity is there, how I can get? But Krishna's stealing and my stealing is different, because I am materially contaminated. Therefore my stealing is abominable. Whereas the same stealing in the spiritual absolute platform is so nice, they enjoy. Mother Jasoda enjoying the activities of stealing by Krishna. That is the difference. Material and spiritual. Any activity spiritual, that is all good. And any activity material, that is all bad. This is the difference. Here the so-called morality, goodness, they are all bad. And in the spiritual level, the so-called immorality is also. That you have to understand. Just like to dance with others' wife at dead of night. This is immoral. Everyone knows. At least in the Vedic civilization, it's not allowed. A young woman is going to another young man at dead of night to dance with him. This will never be allowed in India. Still, it is private. But we find that all the gopis, as soon as they heard the flute, immediately they can. So, from material conception, it is immoral. But from the spiritual concept, it is the greatest morality. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ramya Kachi Upasana Brajavadhu Varga Bija Pulpita. Oh, there is no better mode of worship than what was conceived by the Brajavadhus, the damsels of Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very strict about women in his family life also. He never played any joke with women. He was very joking. But all with men, he never played any joke with women, no. Perhaps only once he played joke with his wife, Vishnupriya. When Sachimata was searching after something, he simply played a joking word, maybe your daughter-in-law has taken it. That is the only joking we find in his whole life. And he was very strict. No woman could come, when he was sannyas, could come near him to offer the obeisance. They would offer obeisance from distant place. But he says, Ramma Kachit Upasana Brajavadhu Vargavija. He says that there is no conception of worshipping better than what was conceived by the Brajavadhus. And what was the Brajavadhus' conception? That they wanted to love Krishna at any risk. So this is not immoral. That we have to understand. Anything in relationship, just like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is standing and his father is being killed. Is it moral? Would you like to see your father being killed in your presence and you stand, you don't protest? Is that moral? Nobody will have to that this is moral. But actually it so happened that Hiranyakashipu was being killed. The picture is here. And Prahlad Maharaj is trying to guard the killer. My dear Lord Killer, you take this garland. You are killing my father. You are very good work. You see? This is spiritual understanding. Nobody will sanction that if you cannot protect your father, you must protest. You must cry that here is my father is being killed, come on, come on, come on. And no, he is prepared with the garland. And when he was killed, he said to Nrsimhadev, my dear Lord, now my father is killed, so everyone is happy. You now wind up your angry mood. Nobody is unhappy. He said this very word. Modeto sadhurapi vishchikasarpahatya. Modeto sadhurapi. A sadhu, a saintly person, never approves that one should be killed. Never. Even an animal. A sadhu does not approve. Why animal should be killed? That is sadhu's business. But Prahlad Maharaj says, Modeta sadhurapi. A sadhu, a saintly person, is also pleased when a scorpion or a snake is killed. They are also living entity. A sadhu is never satisfied seeing another living entity being killed. But Prahlad Maharaj says, even a sadhu is pleased when a snake is killed. or a scorpion is killed. So my father is just like snake and scorpion. So he is killed, therefore everyone is dead. Everyone. Such demon who simply troubles the devotees, such demon, a very dangerous demon. So when such demon is killed, even saintly persons are satisfied. All the saintly persons, they do not want anybody should be killed. So
we can pause here for the recollection.
Right, yeah. I mean, Prabhupada started with akiñcana, because we were just saying that all these material, technical things, they're supposed to make our life more simple, but they sometimes also make it complicated. And then, Prabhu, you were saying we shouldn't be attached to the result, otherwise we'll be... But then Prabhupada, he started very nicely. Akiñcana is we lost all material position, not attached to a result, we don't...
Impoverished,
And then only we can have Krishna, or then we have only Krishna. That's nice.
Someone?
Of course, interesting as Prabhupada said that activities on the material platform are all bad, and this was me like all of them, and activities in the spiritual platform are all good, although it may appear from our viewpoint that they are negative. And he gives this example of Prahlad Maharaj garlanding Nrsimha Devi, said, who is pleased to your father killed. So, and also speaks about Lord Chaitanya also. And so this is interesting point that Prabhupada, you can say, brought. Can I comment, or how do you do usually? What's your?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
You're churning a little bit.
Yeah, that this is interesting to me how Prabhupada, with Krishna consciousness, he brought also the new way of thinking, the completely opposite of what we have learned, the whole civilization has learned. Prabhupada says, no, this is the way to think. Yeah. So all the activities are actually good on the spiritual platform. You know, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, reading the article, how many times they've written Hare Krishna, it doesn't matter what is said in the article. Main thing is the Hare Krishna mantra.
Really transcendental.
I was just wondering if anybody has any comments in relation to scorpions and snakes that Prabhupada says, sadhu is happy when they're killed. I mean, is that a general license to kill scorpions and snakes, or are they deserving of some compassion as well?
Yeah, I'm thinking Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj killed him. That was one example. But when Janamejaya, when he was doing that sacrifice, Parikshit Maharaj, he was killed by this snake. And Janamejaya, he was doing the sacrifice, ordered all the snakes to come in the fire and kill them all. But he was stopped. So that was one instance that they say, it's not just like, you kill all the snakes. That's, what comes to my mind.
I was just like, a few days ago, I don't know, we were in some temple in some country, I don't remember. But the point was that I cannot remember, this devotee was saying how he asked a pandit, there was a pandit devotee he learned all kind of shastras, and he asked him this particular question, and he said, yes, it is authorized actually these two, because they're envious, because due to their bad karma, they get these terrible bodies and they will perpetually stay for a long time. So the sadhu killing them is actually very auspicious for these creatures.
Because they get an improvement.
Otherwise they will rotate in the same same terrible body. And he said the auspicious thing is to kill it with the left foot. So if you have an opportunity, just do it with the left foot. Left foot is auspicious.
In Belgium, we don't get much of these, but anyway.
I found very interesting also Prabhupada when he says that Krishna gives us the opportunity until we understand fully that there is nothing enjoyable in this world.
This was also for me.
This is such a strong point, no?
Like material nature is so kind. It
Yeah.
gives you body to enjoy everything, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Yeah, you want this? Okay, try also this. Try that. So when one understands that there is nothing, so it must be, the first sentence was one should be without any material possession, no? This very, very, very
Can you
strong
repeat the
statement.
sentence, if you remember? Can you repeat the sentence that Prabhupada said?
Krishna wants you to have full experience
Ah.
of material,
Yeah.
so that you understand that you will not be happy.
That you will not be happy. To understand that you will not be happy.
Full experience.
Full
You must have a full experience.
And it fulfills all these things.
Fulfills all this. So many desires to fulfill. Huh? Wow. Hmm? Okay.
The way he said, someone who has no possession in this material world, he possesses Krishna. That's strong. I mean, the way he says that, you know, someone who has no possession in the material world, he possesses Krishna already. It's nice.
We shifted to some other region of material world. I don't know what happened, but let's see. No, a little longer.
I thought it was interesting that Srila Prabhupada said that in the spiritual world, even immorality is auspicious, is wonderful. And then when I think of the consequences in the material world, with immorality, it's disastrous. We certainly. Certainly I have behaved immorally in my life, and nothing good has ever come out of it, apart from sorrow and regret and shame. But for Krishna, it's all wonderful.
And so then that example, Prabhupada gave that example about the gopis, that normally that would be immoral, but because they were hearing Krishna's flute, they would come.
Wait. Okay, sorry.
And then he said they wanted to love Krishna at any risk. So that's a nice mood to try to get, is we want to love Krishna at any risk.
Risk of morality.
Immorality.
It's funny to understand that Krishna is your ever well-wisher. He's always helping you. So first he's helping you by giving you the full experience of material happiness in any way you want. But once you really get attached, then he helps you again by taking away the source of your attachment. That is well known. And that Lord Shiva easily gives blessings, but Krishna takes things away.
Mm-hmm.
Also with the same intention of helping the devotee.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, Srila Prabhupada said that in the material world, whatever you do, there's no good or bad, because this is all entangling you, keeping you here.
Wow. Thank you all very much. It's so nice to churn and repeat, and it's like really, thank you. Oh, we'll find out.
That's immoral.
Yeah, absolutely necessary.
And very dangerous. So when such demand is killed, even sensual persons are satisfied. All the sensual persons, they do not want anyone to be killed. Krishna is akiñcana-vittāya. One has lost everything materially. For him, Krishna is the only God gives us our daily bread. This is material prosperity. Or give me this, give me that. But they are also considered as pious because they are approached more. The atheist class, they do not approach. They will say, why should I approach God? I shall create my way. By advancement of science, I shall be happy. They are Duskrithi now. More simple. One who says like that for my prosperity, I shall depend on my own strength, my own knowledge. They are Duskrithi now. But one who thinks that my prosperity depends on the mercy of God, they are pious. They are pious. Because after all, without sanction of God, nothing can be achieved. That's a fact. There is a statement that we have discovered so many counteracting methods for diminishing our distress condition. But if it is not sanctioned by God, this counteracting proposition will fail. The example is just like you have discovered nice medicine, very qualified physician. That's all right. But when a man is sick, ask the physician, can you guarantee the life of this patient? He will never say no. I try my best. That means the sanction is in the hand of God. I am simply understood. If God does not like that you should live, then all my medicine, all my scientific knowledge, medical knowledge will fail. The ultimate sanction is Krishna. They are the foolish person they do not know. Therefore they are called Mula. That whatever you are doing, that is very good. But ultimately, if it is not sanctioned by God, by Krishna, this is all failure. They do not, therefore they are Mula. And devotees know that whatever intelligence I have got, I will try to become happy. If Krishna does not sanction, I will never be. This is the distinction between devotee and non. So, Krishna said that anyone who is trying to approach me to become Krishna conscious, at the same time he wants to become materially happy, he is not very intelligent. That means he is wasting his time. Our main business is how to become Krishna conscious. This is the main business of human life. But if we waste our time for material improvement and forget chanting, then there is loss, great loss. So such mentality, Krishna says, Hami Vigra Tare Kano Visaya Vigo. So this rascal is asking some material prosperity from me by discharging devotional service. Why should I give you material prosperity? Rather, whatever he has got, I shall take it. Yes. It is not nothing. When it is taken away, it will become very morose. But there is the test that is stated by Krishna himself, Yudhishthira Maharaj. Tasyaham manipunnami vishetat namsanai. Yudhishthira indirectly inquired from Krishna that we are completely dependent on you and still we are suffering materially so much. everything was dismantled. I was forced to come to this position to carry out my order. Akiñcana-vittāya. When everything was finished, then I told Krishna that you are the one. Therefore Krishna is akiñcana-vittāya. When one becomes finished of all material opulences, and now I am realizing that I am not lost, I am gaining. I am gaining. That's the fact. So, to lose material opulences for Krishna's sake is not loss. It is the greatest gain. That will be said, akiñcana-vittāya. When one becomes akiñcana, nothing to possess, everything finished, then Krishna becomes the only richest for such person because he is devotee. Just like Markandas Thakur says, Aha Prabhu Nanda Sutta, Vrishabhanu Sutta Jito, Koruna Karaha Eiva. Narottama Daso Kahi Nathiliyo Nana Pai, Tumi Vina Kya Se Ama. This position. Krishna, accept yourself as nothing to claim. As nothing, nobody. So don't neglect, because you are my only position. This position is very nice. When we do not depend on anything material, simply depend on Krishna.
Wow. Such a nice continuation, and many of you have anticipated some of the points that Srila Prabhupada further elaborated. No? Someone wants to share something? We have a mic still around, huh? Okay. Vasutama, what was the point that you just said it before, and Srila Prabhupada just entered, continued the lecture with? No?
Yes, I'm very glad I have to come to the conclusion that Krishna likes me, because you know, maybe you've heard about my story. I was living here previously, left my wife, and then later on she came also. She started reading, she became a devotee. We got married in the next village, we got a child. And just when I thought, now my life is completely in order, it's perfectly, and then Krishna took my wife away, because I was very attached to her also, and to the whole situation. That situation could be compared to a situation in the heavenly planet, you know, and everything is arranged nicely, and there's beautiful people and nice people, and everything is all right. But the last thing Srila Prabhupada said, I noticed, because that's so nice. Krishna, we should pray to Krishna. Krishna, please do not neglect me, because you are my only possession. So when we're going to leave our body, we have to understand Janma Karma Chame Divyam. We have to understand Krishna's appearance and activities, and we should be focused on Krishna, only on Krishna, not on Krishna and my children, or not on Krishna and my wife or my wife. Solely, only at Krishna. Everything else should be gone, should be left, because we understand everything is temporary. Bhakti Prabhupada Maharaj made a very nice point also when he said that, yes, you're attached to your children, it's normal, but what about the children of your previous life? Or your wife about your previous life?
We have some dementia about that.
Yeah, but
fortunately, otherwise we would.
Again, Krishna's mercy that he made us forget these things, because it's already difficult enough to renounce one set of attachments. But I thought it gave me such a nice extra insight
it's a
into
very
the matter
sober thinking in a way. No?
Yeah, I'm attached to my children, I'm attached to my wife. So even if you renounce that, then previously you were just attached to the children in the same way, and you forget completely about it. So how relative is everything in the material world? Everything is temporary, everything. So temporary in the sense that it's not worth to be very attached, because it's temporary anyway. Very nice.
It's amazing. I was even from the previous first 10 minutes, how this conviction, Prabhupada is so convinced. It's like, yes, even if even morality, no morality, death, everything, Krishna is kind to you. He's your well-wisher. It's like really conviction in Krishna's transcendental position can only give us this peace that we can. Okay,
he's a realized
take
person.
Everything, whatever you do. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah. He's not a student, he's a realized master.
Really,
He's completely convinced,
really
he
there,
knows.
No? He's really there. Some points from the lecture, someone felt inspired by some...
I was still thinking about the snakes.
What's next? We'll find out.
Because the 3 points that, like...
Sorry, I just do this to...
Okay.
No. Just continue. I just refreshed the thing that it doesn't go to sleep.
Okay. So that... Radhanath Swami had this story how he was in the Himalayas there and how he was taught how to deal with the snakes. So then, then when you are in a place and it's full of snakes around you, if you respect their place, there was several things with animals, with wild animals. If you're scared, then they will attack you. Also, if you have if you're puffed up and you have your nose then they will attack you. But in general, the snakes, if you respect their space, they will not attack. So, and also it was like Bhakti Shri Swami, he was in Mayapur at the beginning there, and there was nothing, and it was full of snakes. And he said that actually no one ever got bitten by a snake. When you get to go to the toilet in the morning, you had to walk through all the snakes like that. But no one was ever bitten. So and then, if we do Govardhan worship, it says, if you don't worship Govardhan, then the snakes will attack you. The point is, we can take different measures, and the point with Radhanath Swami still was that he was saying, with animals, there is a kind of, an understanding how they will be, how they do. How they behave. So how they behave. So if you respect that, then they'll leave you alone. But he says with humans, it's much more complicated. So then, that's, but we can, that's why we are doing all our things in order to learn how to deal with others, with other devotees. I found it, from that point of view, interesting to go deeper into the snake world.
Thank you. Someone else? Nikunja Vasini Mata? What?
That Prabhupada was saying, so everything will be taken away. Oh no, so he can give you everything, but if you're really serious, then he can take it away. And then they start to laugh, because it was Prabhupada said, Krishna will take everything. And then he says, it's not a laughing matter, because you will be morose. Because, we can laugh by the philosophy, we understand, oh yes, so it makes sense, you become too attached, Krishna. But if it actually happens to you, it's not a laughing matter.
No.
You actually become
And we
morose.
have seen also that in some cases, devotees have taken a distance because of intensity of situations that they were facing.
Yeah. They are afraid of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said. They don't want to come close because they know Krishna will take things away from them.
Yeah.
So that's... but yeah, if we are especially favored, also Krishna will show that favor too. And okay, so that is then the understanding of the akiñcana-vittāya, that Krishna, he takes everything away or impoverish you, but then he gives himself. Loss for Krishna is the greatest gain, Prabhupada said, right?
I gained so much. Just a couple of seconds back. I gain. He repeated this.
Yeah, and when Prabhupada started talking about his own situation, he was saying he didn't want to. He was a little bit shy to talk about it, but he became like a little boy talking about how he was going through. He was thinking to become very rich and use that in Krishna's service, and he had lots of opportunity. It was even written in his horoscope that he would become a second Birla, but then it was all taken away.
He became even more than second Birla.
Yeah. So maybe Prabhupada will talk about this now. I was thinking.
Yeah. All that. Okay.
Therefore, Krishna is addressed, akiñcana-vittāya, when one becomes impoverished materially, he was the only way. Akiñcana-vittāya. Now, akiñcana-vittāya. The result is that when one takes you as the only possession, immediately he becomes free from the activities of this material nature. That means immediately he is posted on the transcendental position of the absolute. The akiñcana-vittāya, nirvitta-gunavittaya, atmaram. At that time, he becomes happy with you. As you are Krishna, you are happy with yourself. Because Krishna has no difference between body and self. He is simply self, spirit, soul. So, we have got now this body and self. I am self, but I possess this body. Then when actually we become dependent on Krishna, as Krishna is self-satisfied, similarly we can be also self-satisfied with Krishna. The Maharani philosophers, they monists, they want to become one with the Supreme. As Supreme is self-satisfied, they also want to be self-satisfied by becoming one with the Supreme. Our philosophy is also the same, but we depend on Krishna. We do not become one with Krishna. That is why if we simply agree to abide by the order of Krishna, there is no disagreement. That is one. The Mayavadi philosophers, they think that why shall I keep my individual separate existence? I shall become one. That's not possible. Because we are created or not created from the very beginning. We are separated part and part. We are separated part and part. Therefore Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, you, me, and all these persons who have assembled in this battlefield, we were in the past individuals, we are at present individuals, and in the future we shall continue to remain as individuals. We are all individuals. Nittya-nityanam cetanas-cetananam. He is the supreme Nitya, supreme living force, amongst many innumerable living forces. We are Jiva, innumerable, Ananta. There is no counting how many we are. So Anantaya Kalpate. So this Ananta, innumerable living entities, and Krishna is also a living entity, because he is the chief. That is Nitya-nitya, just like there is a leader. Leader is one, and followers there are many. Similarly, Krishna is the supreme living entity, pre-dominator. Horse in its natural world, that is illusion. That we must know. That we must know. We shall always try to become predominated by Krishna. That is successful life. Thank you.
Is that, yeah? I don't understand. There seem to be some more to this lecture. Aha, okay. No, the lecture is over. Can we have a mic? Okay. Yes, please. Can we have a mic?
I mean, that's an amazing lecture. I mean, it's extremely heavy. It's extremely heavy where the guru, Srila Prabhupada's guru is really being a guru there, where he is explaining, because all of us, are in the material world. We are all very materialistic by nature. And to hear, that everything that one aspires to in one's life, before one gets any understanding of Krishna consciousness, everything that you're educated in,
speaking to mic.
Everything that we're educated in, everything that our education has led to is to acquire in various ways, whether it's, material possessions or intelligence or status or whatever. And to hear the spiritual master say, ultimately, when Krishna favors you, all of that is taken away from you, is extremely heavy, for anybody to come to when you really think about that. And of course, there are other manifestations of this in our tradition, though. When you see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, where he was saying, on the other hand, if we're going to preach Krishna consciousness to the world, we have to, in a sense, embrace the trappings of the world to a certain extent. So, I was just thinking about what Prabhupada was saying, that it's not so much that Krishna takes everything away from you, because, Krishna can take everything away from all of us, and we can still be absolutely miserable, probably more miserable than ever. So it's only that Krishna takes everything away from us that we're then in a position to understand the benefit of that. That's really only when, so we could be thinking, Krishna's taken everything away from me, and therefore, I'm realized. But actually, if Krishna takes everything away from me, and I just end up being a very, very miserable person, I have no realization. So it's more a shift in consciousness of understanding, because when we then look at Srila Prabhupada in his later life, where he actually has everything material, but it means nothing to him other than using it for the service of Krishna. So, that's where, these are really profound issues for I think all of us to really dwell on and reflect on the depth of that. Because from a preaching point of view, it can, as Srila Prabhupada says, it can scare the life out of people to think, I'm not going to be a worshipper of Krishna if I'm going to lose everything, So in a sense, it may well be that can be or should be a somewhat confidential or an elevated concept, not necessarily to be ventilated to the entire world.
Or practice too early.
Or practice too early, yeah. So anyway, they're just some thoughts I have on these things.
Thank you so much. This is really such a valuable consideration.
In that connection, I was reading a verse this morning. Visaya vinivashtanti niraharasya dehina rasavaryam rasopiyasya param dristva nivashtate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, so you can have it or you cannot have it. Krishna may take it away. But the taste for sense objects remains. But Ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste, he's fixed in consciousness. So we may give up everything, or Krishna may take away everything, but if we have Krishna, we will get, of course, take some time, the process, but we will get a higher taste, and by that higher taste, everything will be,
We'll
easy.
be happy.
Perfect, yeah.
I just have a thought on Prabhu's repeatedly. Yeah, I mean, this whole lecture is about Krishna will take away from his devotees also. But we are anyway will be taken away. I mean, but death will come for all of us. That's really one certainty, and it will be taken away. Even previous children that we had in previous life thoughts or wealth that we have, as Vasudhama Prabhu was saying before, this will happen. So it's kind of like famous statement from Bhaktitirtha Swami: "Die before dying." No, that was one of his strong thoughts prior to his departure, to die before dying. Please? Or Prabhupada wanted to, yeah.
Srila Prabhupada, in the beginning, when he came to America, he saw that these youngsters, they were like renounced, they were like living very poorly, but at the end, they didn't leave the attachment to sense gratification. No? They wanted to, and even some devotees who prematurely took sannyas, but the desire to enjoy the world was not completely clean. So we must be 100%. When Prabhupada said fully, we must fully be without desire of enjoying this world. Because maybe one can be detached from sex life, from material opulence, but the desire to be recognized, to be glorified, to prestige, these are much deep-rooted things. No? They have to come out. Also those.
I say that pratishta goes away on the level of prema, the desire for recognition goes away from the heart, from a practicing devotee on the level of prema completely. Goes. It's the last one. So
there is a lot to do still, no?
So we will be facing our pratishtas for quite some time in my case. Let's see. Thoughts? Yeah.
Relating to your point that we have to give up anyway, and Prabhu was saying how heavy it is for people, to be, when we preach like that. Okay. I think it's very, it's very crucial in that, the context, we are living that in the context of our preaching and our getting together. And then it's completely different because you are kind of carried by that, if we are, like here we can talk about it like that. If you go to anyone who has not come to Krishna consciousness, you tell him that. And I was thinking, even we have our temple culture. I come every morning, and you create a certain context, a certain culture. Yesterday we were in the program, and I realized I didn't change that it's completely different there. The way I was speaking was completely foolish. So, how sensitive it is, the way, we experience and we create the culture and context, and what we say, how we say, it's all, we are making it because there is nothing previous to that. We are still kind of pioneers in doing that. And it's very much, to me, it's very much like feeling and... Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, everything that Prabhupada said, how harsh it may be, it's truth. It's really a truth. So, but the part that he started with was giving a hope. So, I mean, he continuously giving a hope. We might be also invited to state the truth as it is. But the complete truth is that there is much greater hope.
Yeah.
After death, the death is not the end. No, and having everything being taken away from you, it's not the end.
Yeah, but that's also a point. I mean, I still want to. Sorry, yeah, maybe I'm talking too much. You know, like
it's okay. We
that. You know, that it's taken away at the point of death, but in the subtle body, they don't give it up. No. They'll come back and do again. You know, the whole thing, like Prabhupada said. So, you know, unless we have this culture of Krishna, like Vasudhama Prabhupada said, we have a higher taste. We learn to give it up. We will not give it up.
Yeah. If we don't know why we should give it up.
Yeah.
Is there something better that we have pleasure-seeking entities? We will cling on something, and here is the best alternative. No? Please, so ladies. Oh, such an amazing lecture and a discussion. Thank you, Prabhu. For this is really, I feel.
I'm just going back to the point Prabhu made about us having to have a higher taste. Actually, in order to be able to face being deprived of all our desires, it doesn't necessarily have to be material wealth. It can also be a person we are very attached to, a child we are losing, etc. And my experience is both from personal experience, but also observing others that I know well, that because that higher taste had not been developed, what happened when we get deprived is that we fall back to the old ways of calming down our pain. Mm-hmm. And that can be anything from jumping into a new relationship, to drugs, to alcohol, anything, to just doing something desperately, get away, travel. And these are all our various mechanisms to survive pain. So I think for me that was actually an extremely important point Prabhu made, and yeah, that higher taste is also what Prabhupada always talks about.
Thank you very much. Nikunjavasana or Yaduranimat or raising? No? Okay.
So the example is very simple. If you're attached to eating nice cookies and pastries and cakes, and we're so attached we cannot leave it, but one day I come by and bring you a big cake with cream, immediately you can leave it. That's the example given in this connection, very clearly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prabhupada is always talking about we are part of Krishna, but what does that parcel mean? Why is that we are a part of Krishna, but what is this parcel, part and parcel? What does that parcel mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Prabhupada was stating that in your individual. No?
Part of Krishna, but at the same time you're not exactly the same. You're a separate individual, still a part of Krishna.
What does that word mean, parcel?
Parcel means separate, piece, a piece, you're a piece of Krishna. You're not Krishna, you're a piece of Krishna.
So, yeah. I mean, if we try to examine a little bit the weight of significance in English, part means that there is just the part of something bigger, and parcel really points more at the size of it, that you are really tiny. That I at least in my thoughts on.
And the figure is part of the body.
Yeah.
When do you say it's parcel?
When I would say that it's parcel when I would like to emphasize on the size. At least in my understanding of parcel, that sounds like that. But probably there are many. Maybe probably you're a native English speaker. Could you
part and parcel?
Part and parcel difference. Could you maybe?
It's an unusual phrase, part and parcel. But I mean, I think it just means a fragment.
Fragment. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what Srila Prabhupada was saying there was that he was talking about the salt in the water. You know, that it's like we have a tiny piece of salt, but we don't have all the salt in the ocean. But Krishna has all of the qualities. So whatever quality we have in minute quantity, Krishna has in totality. I mean, that was what he was saying earlier on in the lecture.
Okay.
So if we're part and parcels, you know, we're a tiny little fragment. We may have little bits and pieces of Krishna in minute quantity, but
so parcel would refer to that aspect of the little part having the qualities of the bigger of the whole, so to say. No?
I think he's talking about the qualities. Part and parcel is referring, I think, to qualities, or attributes, or whatever, you know, whatever are the constituents of our being. They are only minute, tiny parts of the qualities of Krishna.
Wonderful.
This format is indeed, like you say, it's so nice to stop it and then talk again. So why don't we do all our lectures like that?
Churning them like that, churning Prabhupada's wisdom, it's really...
If I cut my finger, I separate it from my body, it is still a finger, right? So the soul is marginal energy. He has the choice, he can connect with Krishna or he can disconnect. Of course, it's an illusion, you can never disconnect real, but you can forget. I think it has for me, it has something to do with that. You're part of Krishna, and as long as you're part of Krishna, just like when the screw is in a machine, the screw is necessary, and you know, or when you feed, when the hand takes the food by itself, it cannot be happy. When it gives the food to the body, it will be happy. But a finger can be separated. Yeah, parts. Yeah, parcels. Onderdelen, yeah.
I was thinking in a more subtle way, even the yogis, they have an extraordinary power. There is a power, they can create a planet, you know, but it's always infinite compared to the universe. So, therefore the yogis, they are so proud, no, of this material opulence of creating this Asta-siddhi, the 8th perfection of yoga. But they have nothing to do with Krishna. So the soul is also very powerful. The jiva can be very powerful, but not unlimitedly powerful.
It was once in a lecture, Prabhupada says, you are soul, but you have a body. And Krishna is full soul. Something like that. It sounded a little bit from a different angle, but it expanded my understanding a little bit in this connection. It's like Krishna, he is full soul. But you have body. So there is a separation between you. There is a difference between you and body. No? I felt that was nice. Okay.
Yeah, we have a body like actors. We are dressing these bodies because due to our desires, but this is not our constitution. Eternal.
I was thinking, Prabhupada was saying, this akiñcana-vittāya, that's Krishna's name, right? And the lust for Krishna is your greatest gain. So, and then you can say, don't neglect me because you are my only possession. Wow. So then it becomes you are my only wealth. So it's very beautiful to remember Krishna like that. Because if we gain Krishna, then we gain everything.
Yeah.
So it's a loss is our greatest gain, because then Krishna becomes our only possession. It's very beautiful.
Wow, when you're saying this, I'm just thinking that we need to make space for Krishna, and Krishna being full, absolute, we need to take out everything else out of our heart for him to actually fit in.
Yeah, because we actually don't need to do anything, and Krishna is going to do it for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because we can't. If it's up to us, we'll just stay and stick with whatever we have. That's more secure. But if Krishna sees some desire, then he will take it away, and then Krishna will become our only possession and our greatest wealth.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's an interesting expression you use. We have to make space for Krishna, because it sounds as if we are doing something sort of magnanimously to give Krishna a little bit of place in our life. And I don't actually think that's a fact. Anyway.
No, for me, the creating space was just like Krishna is absolute in everything, and we have filled our space with something else, so that needs to go out. So, but thank you for such a nice discussion and everything. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.